What's up, guys? It's that time of the week. We're gonna upload another video. Figured today I'd hit on marriage and what do men contribute to marriage, or what's the man's role, I'm sorry, and what's the female role in marriage. Well, for starters, 50% nowadays end in divorce. And a lot of people cheat. I think it's like, I heard a number like 60% or something like that. And only 20% of families are nuclear families where the mom and dad are actually still together. So that wouldn't include mine, wouldn't include my mom's, wouldn't include my dad's, wouldn't include any of my dad's marriages or my sisters and my half sisters, stepsisters' marriage, like not marriage as well. Their parents' relationship with their parents. Come to think of it, I've only ever met a couple kids at high school that actually were in nuclear families, and some of the times the parents are still together, but they probably shouldn't have been because it was a super toxic thing. But I think that's still better than them getting divorced and having no father figure or anything. But anyways, I digress. So let's start with the women. Actually, no. Let's start by painting the hierarchy of marriage. Rather, that's the better way to do it. So up here is again, it goes with everything in life: God, men, women, children on the bottom. So God rules over all of us, and then it all trickles down. But men are next in line. We're put in command and charge over the family. We're the shield, the wife. Okay, so the men are the men is the shield, the wife is the heart, and the children are the soul of the family. That's how that works. But men specifically, what do we do? Well, we're the breadwinners. Someone breaks into the house at night. We're gonna either kill whoever comes into our house. Probably assuming we own a gun, you live in America, or just use your hands. I don't want to get graphic, but like, whatever the case is, someone breaks into the house and they're gonna do something bad to, and your family's there. You gotta end it as quickly and violently as possible. Men go to work. They're supposed to, at least. Your wife's just not supposed to be going to work and working for another man. She's supposed to be in the house. She could be cleaning shelves at Walmart and stocking shelves, or she could just be cleaning the shelves and stuff in your house and, being a mother, but, or she could just work for someone else and your kids could be by themselves. No, your wife should be home. But anyways, I digress. The man is supposed to work and provide for the family. He is the provider, the shield and the provider. The mother is the nurturer. All right, despite what people will tell you, the dad really doesn't have to be that involved with the kids until they're about like age 12 or so. When they're little, they cling to their mom, and they only really know that daddy loves mom, daddy's there, daddy loves them, but mom is the nurturer, right? At least she's supposed to be. Now, where was I going with this? So I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. So mom is the nurturer. Mom is the one that takes care of the kids, that puts band-aids on their boo-boos and whatever else. Now, the kids is pretty next step down would be the kids. That's pretty self-explanatory. The kids are kind of the soul of the family. That's why the family's there. It's to create life through the next generation. The family's kind of really there just to create the next generation. It's kind of like a little miniature society. And the dad protects that little society. The mom guides and mainly nurtures that little society. Kind of, it's like a woman is like a gardener, and she's cultivating crops or flowers. In this case, children. And the dad is the fence that keeps the bad things out. But once they get to, like earlier, like I said about the age 12, once they're getting to that age, that's when they start looking more towards their dad. Now, in homes without dads, this is where it gets really, really bad. So women, let's start with women. When they grow up, they pursue the type of love their mother received from their father. So if daddy beat the crap out of mom, and it came from a broken household, or bad things happened, she's gonna end up being in troubled relationships, and that's where the whole, daddy issues thing comes from. That's why those girls are like that. They pursue the type of men that their dad was, or the type of love that their dad showed mom, or lack thereof in a lot of cases. Now, boys, I can attest to this one, is that they become their father. Obviously, you can control your own destiny to a bit. But when you're a little kid, it's kind of really hard to be self-conscious to that extent and be aware of that. Especially when your brain is so soft and you got all that neuroplasticity and you're really easily impressionable. That's a pretty hard thing to be self-aware of, especially when you're a little kid and you're trying to figure out fractions in middle school. It doesn't really happen very often. That's why the dad is supposed to kind of guide kids. It would be an example as a guy, lead by example, just like Christ did. Which again, that hierarchy. But anyways, boys become their fathers. If their dad was a piece of crap, hit mom, you know what he's gonna do when he gets a girlfriend? He's gonna beat the crap out of her too. Dad went to jail. Dad wasn't there to be a good example or to discipline them or to teach them the rules, what to do and what not to do. He's gonna grow up and he's probably gonna be a criminal. He's probably gonna be a lot of bad things. A lot of the worst criminals, the majority of criminals are fatherless kids that grew up into shitty men, weak men. And that's why fathers are important. If you could only have one parent, you'd need your dad. I know mom, cultivate you, love you, it's the lovey-dovey stuff, the stuff that I kind of need when you're little. But you can survive without that. You might be a little more emotionally distant, but when the dad's gone, so are the morals, so are the rules, so is the discipline, so is the example, and everything is completely gets destroyed from there. Once that root is gone, that solid core example, that solid guidance, especially when you get in your teens. More so tweens, if you will. That's a big deal. If that's not there, a lot of things are also going to be missing by default. The whole strong women's, single moms, or even worse, lesbian moms or whatever, with adopt a kid or something, or whatever, however they want to have kids, or like same-sex couples, dude. It's when you're missing one, you're gonna have a problem. There's a reason why there's supposed to be there's one of each. It's not because yes, or because biology. There's a deeper reason to that. If otherwise men and women would be the same, with the exception of what's in their pants, right? But it's not. It goes far deeper than that. And there's a reason for that. It's because you need a bit of both when you're younger. If you're missing one, you'll be missing certain important traits, certain important, things you'll be insecure in certain areas maybe. It varies from person to person. I understand I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just letting you know. But if it's from my experience, growing up with other kids who had the same experiences or worse experiences, and I can tell you I've seen it a lot my whole life. I don't think... Actually, I do know a family person like that's like close to us that it actually is nuclear. But the only reason why the mom is staying with the dad is because of religious reasons, and she is, people say, oh, you'll go to hell or something if you divorce your husband. It's not really a healthy relationship. So I don't think I personally know of anyone, at least off the top of my head, that if took a couple that's married with kids that is in a healthy relationship. Again, according to some stuff, look it up yourself, 20% roughly. That's it. 20%. There should be a lot more nuclear families than 20%, okay? It should ideally be 100%, but there's a point down in America where the number was ridiculously high and the crime rates coincidentally were significantly lower. Back in a time where there were less gun laws, there were less, and I don't believe in gun control, but in a time, like when my dad was in school, before the assault, the fully auto ban on rifles, you could buy fully automatic rifles, the kind that the military uses, not the semi-auto, because they're not the same thing at all. And if you don't know the difference, please take the time to educate yourself. But back then, there weren't any school shootings, and there were far less restrictions on guns, and there were far more quote-unquote dangerous guns floating around, and less rules, and, there's also less crime. There's also, coincidentally, more dads. Believe it or not. The dad is actually really important. Really important. I think that's the way I turned out. And again, I'm not some great guy. I have an incredible amount of work to do in myself. My physique, my mind, my body, my soul, my everything. My skills. But I made it as far as I have because of my dad. giving me good examples. I mean, I built off of that, and I went to self-improvement. My dad didn't teach me that, but I had people like Hamza and this YouTube channel that no longer exists called Heroic Concepts. What really got me into Red Pill, and and Red Pill is really just a stepping stone for Christ Pill. You don't really even need to use it as a stepping stone. You can just go straight to Christ Pill. But anyways, Elliot Halls, if I haven't said it already, self-developed, great YouTube channel. Love the guy's mindset. Yeah. So again, it kind of goes back to, I had a dad. I had a really good dad, but what my dad wasn't able to give me, I was able to find in other father-like role models. In other words, I don't want to say dad surrogates because I had a really good dad who took good care of me and whatnot. But I wouldn't have. My dad didn't know what the red pill was. Something that wasn't around when he was younger. When he was having kids when I was born, it really wasn't a thing until. I'm older than YouTube, so I'm 20. I started this channel when I was 19, but I'm 20 now. I just turned 20. I'm older than YouTube, and I'm whatever. But where's it going with this? Oh yeah, my dad couldn't give me everything I needed in terms of self improvement and whatnot, and we live in a world where you shouldn't. I don't say you shouldn't. I don't say you shouldn't need self improvement, but self improvement is something that's kind of almost mandatory at this point because the school system's gonna fuck you up. Your teachers, your fat doctors are gonna fuck you up. You their advice too. I don't take advice, fitness advice from fat people, but either it means their advice doesn't work or they're not implementing it. And you don't know how. You don't even know if it works if they're not implementing it. But anyways, the school system fucks you up so badly. It teaches you to be a slave. It give you just enough knowledge to be kind of smart, a little educated, but not enough to actually liberate you and be able to make smart, intelligent business decisions and well-calculated moves, chess moves by yourself, essentially. Life is like playing chess, and they teach you how to play checkers, and then they say, hey, tell you what, just work for us. We'll give you money, toss you a bone every week or 2 weeks, depending on when you get your checks. And, you'll be fine. That's why self-improvement is so important. That's why red pill type things are really important. I'd say good books are like, see, I actually have it right here. The Way of the Superior Man. King by Elliot Halls. I got more around here too. I got my uncle's cookbook here too. But anyways, where's it going with this? Anyways, what I wasn't able to get from my dad, I was able to get from other guys on YouTube, and it helped me tremendously. Because this world is out to get you, man, and it's out. And right now they're trying to cut off the head off the serpent because they want shitty, weak, sad, depressed, bad people to rule over. So what they do is they cut the head off of the snake, in a bad sense, because they take the father out of the household and they replace him with Big Daddy government, Big Brother, watching over you. Get your food stamps, get your unemployment checks, get your this and that aid from the government. You don't even really need a man then, because if you're in a medieval era and your wife just walked out and said, "See you later, dude," she can't work. She's not gonna get a pickaxe and work in a quarry and drag stones around. She's not gonna work in the field probably. She's not gonna be a miller and grind flour all day. You need a certain level of strength and leverage to do those things. And believe it or not, men are designed with strength and leverage in mind. You have more muscle fibers, bigger, longer, thicker bones, denser bones. Just by virtue of having a period, you have less dense bones for any women out there, just for the record. Information, fact check me if you want to, but men have larger hearts, lungs, brains. So many different things, like more red blood cell counts, so we heal faster. We have less nerves. Women have more because of giving birth, and their bodies are more sensitive. Here's a funny thing about muscle fibers. You don't really gain more muscle fibers when you work out. You have a set amount, and it just gets thicker. So, Even if a woman works incredibly hard, she can never truly be to the maximum potential that a man has. Again, sorry, a little off topic, but just thinking out loud. I've spent some time learning this stuff, so I'm trying to pour it out into these videos and try to compress all of the things I've learned in the past, since I was about 17. Well, I got a red pill around 14, but again, didn't become a Christian until April 28th, 2020. Yeah, 2020. So, I didn't get on the Christ pill until a few years ago, so I'm trying to compress everything down and give it to you guys without wasting your time. But, I don't think there's anything else I want to add. I had a little template. Not even notes. It's just like a title for a video. I think that's everything I can tell you about that I know of. I'm still learning more every day. You may be ahead or behind me in terms of your own self improvement or learning or whatever. But I wanted to compress what I've learned in the past couple years into a video. And obviously, there's a lot more. I didn't take the time to make notes and cite studies and get all these statistics prepared. And maybe it'd be a better video if I did, but I like just talking. And I don't like writing notes. So, anyways, I suppose I'll end it here. I don't want to make it too long, but thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Stay focused. Don't waste your time with women. Don't look at women. Focus on your grind. Focus on God. Focus on God, and all these things will be added unto you. There's something in the Bible, I can't remember word for word what it is, paraphrasing, but basically, if you focus on God, the other things smaller things will figure themselves out. Okay? You ever see that? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be ending this video, but reminds me of a little thing I had when I was a kid, a little game that we played at church. Take a bowl, a little Tupperware bowl about like this big, and so you got a bunch of little rocks, little pebbles, and two big rocks. Two big rocks represent God, and then the little rocks represent every other problem you have in life. Now, the bowl is supposed to represent how much space you have, how many things you can take care of. So, now, naturally, people thinking, some of the kids are like, I'm going to put all the little ones in there first, and then I'll put the big one in there. And when they put all the little ones in there, they couldn't manage to get the big one sitting there and then put the top on everything, on the lid on top of the little Tupperware. So the teacher's like, all right, so this represents God, the big rock, and the little rocks is every other problem you have in your life. If you put God first into the bowl, and then put everything else on there, and then take care of everything else, it actually fits despite being the same amount of whatever. Volume math, not it's the mathematician or whatever, but it works. I've seen it done before, and I know it's just a little stupid experiment just to get your brain, the gears in your head turning, and whatever, make you think, get that little hamster running on the wheel. But that is how it works. When you start focusing on God, one, you'll start entering spiritual warfare, and you'll be, if you're a Christian, I don't recommend being a Muslim, but better than being an atheist. Not by much, but when you become a Christian and you truly focus on God, everything starts to come together. Everything starts working better. Everything, I don't know how to put it, man. You just have to trust me and try it out for yourself. Truly go into it with a humble heart, though. Don't be like, God, fix my life. I gave you permission. It's not how it works, man. You gotta be humble, and you gotta actually really want it and actually really try. And not just be like, oh, yeah, like some people that's an atheist be like, God, I give you permission to strike me down. And it's like, God doesn't answer to you, dude. Who do you think you are? The God who created the universe and everything that exists in it. And you're like a little ant. You're like, hey, I gave you permission. It wasn't yours to give anyways. I mean, God created the world. God created the lightning bolt that would, in theory, potentially strike you down. It's like, it's not your permission to give. You're just an inhabitant on a. It's like being invited to be on a cruise ship and like, okay, I give you permission to invite me, do something. It's like, it wasn't yours. Sorry, I'm getting all over the place, and I'm supposed to be ending this video. But I'm just trying to make a point and hopefully get your gears turning, get that hamster wheel spinning. And I'm sure you guys are a lot smarter than me. I'm kind of a little bit of a dumbass. But I spent a lot of time learning these things, and you don't have to be super smart or super handsome or whatever to learn these things, implement these things into your life, and to become better or to get whatever it is that you want. And obviously, this life isn't everything. It's as Christians we prepare for the next life, but it doesn't mean you can't have nice things in this life. Mainly in the terms of like spiritual gifts, and I'm not talking about like having a Lamborghini Diablo or a Bugatti, every colored Bugatti, whatever, or all kinds of girls. But you can have peace, joy, satisfaction with your life, or just be happy overall, just by implementing the right things. Even if they seem stupid at first, trust me, dude. Even if it's hard, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. I love that quote. Sorry, this video's getting going on too long. I gotta end it because I'm just rambling at this point, and I don't want to waste your time. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Have a good one, dude.